Welcome into the Sharp Sports YouTube podcast. My name is Andrew Sharp. We'll be talking everything Denver sports and beyond. Please like and subscribe if you are a sports fan like me. Let's do this.
The Denver Broncos go into New Orleans and grab a 33-10 victory on Thursday Night Football in a game that was not nearly as close as that 33-10 score would indicate. Welcome into the Sharp Sports YouTube podcast. My name is Andrew Sharp. We're going to be talking Broncos today. Broncos get a big win on the road. I want to look back at some numbers. So basically, going on the road on a short week Thursday Night Football is not easy. However, recently, in the last 5 years, I was looking this up, apparently road teams are around a 50% win clip since 2020. Now, I have some theories on this, although I did not do all the research. But I know from having, unfortunately, viewed some pretty horrible Thursday Night Football games, they tend to give them, in the past, they would give them a lot. Now everybody plays 1, 3, 4. They would give the Jags, the Giants, the Jets, some pretty bad teams, Thursday night games on a regular basis. It seemed like there was always a Jaguars game on Thursday Night Football for a while, but now everybody plays one. It's all basically the same. But the Saints found themselves in a very unenviable position, in the fact that they are super, super banged up. Quarterback Derek Carr, was out. Wide receiver Chris Olave and the wide receiver Rashid Shaheed. Tight end, they list him as a tight end, but really he's sort of their jackknife of all trades. Taysom Hill out for New Orleans. Guard, Cesar Ruiz, linebacker Pete Warner. So basically, Broncos were able to take advantage of a pretty beat up New Orleans squad without their starting quarterback. However, Broncos had some injuries too. Pat Surtain was held out after his concussion on Sunday. Did not take a third quarterback in Zach Wilson, although that's not necessary. Cornerback Chris Adams-Drain, offensive tackle Alex Pawlowski, tight end Greg Dulcich, who I think we might talk about a bit later, who always seems to be hurt outside longer. Linebacker, DeAndre Tillman, and a few more reserve players. But anyways, Broncos get a big win Thursday Night Football on the road in New Orleans. Very happy with the result. And let's dive a little bit more into some of those numbers. The NFL season is a super long marathon. And it goes by quickly week to week, but it's a long season. And now the NFL is probably going to move to 18 games in the next few years. Roster depth definitely becomes an issue. Broncos have an advantage in the fact that because they have a youth movement going on and they have young players, they're less likely to be on injured reserve. I had to go back and remind myself. So back in 2022, Broncos number one team with most adjusted games lost due to injury in 2022. Denver had a staggering 148.6 games lost to injury. Number one by 20. The next one down is the Tennessee Titans at 122.9, Los Angeles Rams at 119.6, etc., etc. So basically the Broncos, and the league average is probably around 80 to 100. So the Broncos had a good third more than that. They were almost hurt. I remember watching in the preseason, and it seemed like every time they had a training camp, somebody would go down. And in fact, that year in 2022, they were ranked number 32 in most injured team. So, most injured team in 2022. 2023, luckily, came back to the mean. They were 14th. Right in the middle. League average, 57 games, wasn't a big deal. They're doing pretty well this time, definitely monitoring that. But one player in particular, Greg Dulcich, he's hurt again. I don't know what it is. Maybe he's, unfortunately, Jake Butt, a tight end from Michigan, who I had high hopes for here with the Broncos a few years back, literally ended his career. He just could not get on the field. And I like Greg Dulcich. I think he has immense talent. But at this point, he's not getting on the field. I don't see how they keep going with him. I really don't. It's not realistic. So, luckily they have a few other tight ends I'm looking here. Adam Troutman really didn't do anything this game. But Lucas Kroll, 4 targets, 3 receptions, 41 yards. That's okay. I have heard there have been little rumors floating around that the Cleveland Browns might have some players available, most notably David Njoku. And I wouldn't always advocate this, but clearly the Broncos don't know how to draft an elite tight end, and there are several within the AFC West. Travis Kelce, Brock Bowers. We need to go get a good tight end. Let's give up some picks for Njoku. I'm fine with it. He's still young. It's the one element of this offense that is severely missing. It would definitely help out Bo Nix. So at this point, Broncos, ball is in your court. Let's find a tight end who can produce at a high level. Please. The Denver Broncos used the battered New Orleans Saints to work on their run game, which I'm quite happy about. They finished as a total team with 35 carries for 225 yards on the ground. Granted, Bo Nix had 75 yards, but Bo Nix also had some designed QB runs through in there that I really liked. As long as he doesn't get hurt, he's a young guy, use his legs as he progresses in the offense. I'm totally fine with that. Javonte Williams looked very good. 14 carries, 88 yards. I was kind of hoping he would get to the 100-yard mark. It seems like it's been ages since the Broncos had a 100-yard single back rush for 100 yards in the game, but we'll take it. It's winning ugly. This is not pretty. It doesn't look pretty, but the running game, which I have been begging, imploring Sean Payton to do, to help out a young Bo Nix, who is struggling. Bo. We'll talk about Bo for a second. Yes, I heard this morning on some other outlets about his footwork. I'm certainly not totally qualified for that, but it does make sense. All I can say is that when we start the game, he seems very jittery. He seems overly aggressive, either throwing too high, too far. He doesn't seem very settled. He's a rookie. It's his 7th game. I think he also was a little amped up because he wanted to win this game for Sean Payton in New Orleans against Sean Payton's Florida team. He understood what it meant for the coach. The coach can be a very, very intense guy. I think a little bit of nervous Nellies, nervous feet every time. But it's got to stop. I don't know if Bo Nix needs to take a minute. I don't know what he needs to do, but the starts of these games are taking a while for him to get settled. So whatever it takes, Bo, take a breath, take your time. I would prefer if the Broncos seems like they want to get him settled so they end up passing more on some of their opening drives, whereas I think establishing the run game would also help Bo Nix. Even some screen passes, something easy, something readable, quick out would help. But again, rookie quarterback, we're developing. It takes time. And the good part is, while we're developing, we're also winning. And by we, I mean the Broncos are winning games. Games they could have easily lost a season ago. On the right track towards, hopefully, a playoff berth in 2024. The rest of the NFL is slowly learning that the Broncos may not have superstars all over their defense, but they have contributors at all levels. And I learned a little bit more about one last night that I don't know every player. I didn't know much about Cody Barton at all. Turns out he was drafted by the Seattle Seahawks in the 3rd round of the 2019 NFL draft. So it's taken him a little while to develop. It happens. He's bounced around a little bit, signed a 1-year deal with the Washington Commanders in 2023. Unfortunately, had a high ankle sprain week 7 last year and basically was placed on injured reserve. Really hadn't played much. They did reactivate him later on in the season, but didn't do much. He signed a 1-year deal in Denver for $3.5 million. And he managed to get himself his first NFL career touchdown with a beautiful fumble return. He was all over the place. Again, getting contributions, from lesser known players. That's what it's going to take on this defense. It's frankly what's going to take on the whole team, because this team is playing with a hand tied behind its back. paying a quarterback who doesn't want to be here. Or didn't want, said he wanted to be here, didn't want to be here. And I'm fine with it. We're rolling with the youth movement. Cody Barton, welcome to the party. Very happy to have you. Didn't know much about you. Hope to learn more about you. Hope you keep making plays for the Denver Broncos. But you're part of this defense now. Very happy to have you. Love to see the young guys stepping up in a big way. Denver Broncos continue their interconference schedule a week from Sunday, hosting the Carolina Panthers, who are not a good NFL team, although they've looked a little better lately with Andy Dalton. Broncos have a chance to get to 5-3, a spot that I was somewhat optimistic they could get to, but I wasn't sure. I really wasn't. So don't take your foot off the pedal, Broncos. Take care of business at home. Carolina Panthers are not a good football team. This is a game you have at home. Give your fans a gift of a home win. Broncos' majority of winning has been on the road. Let's get a home win. Anyways, thanks for coming on. Thanks for checking out the Sharp Sports YouTube podcast. My name is Andrew Sharp. Please like and subscribe if you like any of my content. Appreciate you tuning in, and we'll see you next time.